Hi everyone, it's Jimmy. Today I'm headed out on a little road trip to pick up a snowboard that I found online. Sometimes when you collect snowboards, you have to be willing to drive to, get deals sometimes. And people are willing to help you if you're willing to pick it up. And so I'm headed over to Wisconsin to pick this up. I live in Illinois, so I have about an hour drive. And this guy gave me an excellent deal on this board. So when I first saw it online, the guy was asking a pretty good amount of money for it. And I did think to myself, man, whoever gets it is gonna get a really nice board. The board's in really nice condition. It's missing some parts, but still beautiful. With the holidays coming up, I really wasn't thinking of purchasing anything. I'm just always curious to see what people have. And, I said to myself, you know what, I'll send the guy an offer. If he takes it, I shouldn't be buying boards, but I'll go get the board. But if he doesn't take it, I'm cool with that because I need to save some money. But the guy ended up replying back and he said that he would take the offer. So that's why I'm headed over there, and he seems really cool. He wants to help me out. So let's go pick up the board. I'm gonna take you guys along with me and let's see what we get. So I'm on my way over there, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not sure if this deal is going to go through. So I talked to this guy yesterday and we agreed to meet up in the morning, and he did give me his address, so this gives me a little bit more confidence. But I did tell him that I would reach out to him before I left my house in the morning just to make sure that we were still going to meet up, and he hasn't replied back to me. But I'm going over there, I'm taking the risk, and that's part of collecting. You gotta take those risks. Even if it doesn't go through, I'm not gonna let it mess up my day. I took the dog out in the morning, I had a good run in the morning, and I feel really good. So let's keep going. Let's see if the sale goes through. Yeah, I did. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, man.
Check that out.
What's the story with this board?
Like I said, my dad got it for me when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
He probably got it from like a rummage sale or something.
It's interesting that the fins are missing on it,
You can tell they were on there at one time.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know why they got taken off. They weren't on there when I had it.
Yeah, you look pretty young. How old are you?
Well, I'm 40.
First time I must have had this, didn't really ride it too much, huh?
No, because, it hasn't been used in 20 years at least.
Oh, man, yeah. Because this thing's from like 1984.
Like I said, I never used it, but I just tried to wipe them off.
Oh, okay.
It was all dusty.
Yeah, cool.
These straps you strap underneath.
Yeah, that's pretty neat that it had that.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. You want to count it? Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm trying to collect a lot of the early Burton stuff, and I really love it. That's interesting. The story that your dad
there's a little sticker residue right here.
Yeah.
Somebody must have had a rummage sale sticker on it. I bet he picked it up at a rummage sale.
It's interesting where these things end up. They did use this marker. It's this weird, it's like a reddish orange light colored marker. So sometimes it fades on them,
Yeah, if you actually use it every day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this one is really clear. I have some boards some earlier ones where it has it here where he actually put his whole name there.
Okay.
Jake Burton Carpenter, and it has like a serial number on the side. But you do notice like the trend with them. His handwriting, it's very unique. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the best handwriting,
Sure.
But it's very unique. You can tell that it's real. That's what I love about like the old boards. It's cool, and they all tell a story.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, like this one is the story about it just wasn't used very much. It's interesting when you find some of these old boards, they didn't ride very good. A lot of the fins sometimes were taken off because they made the board ride worse.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
It'd be like a big, you couldn't
Yeah, I mean,
like
you couldn't. Yeah, exactly. You couldn't turn good, right? So it wasn't uncommon to see the fins gone. You know what I mean? And you can tell what people were thinking back then if the board is used. You're like, oh, I get why they did that.
Absolutely.
So the board, you could figure it out yourself. So it's very interesting, like all the stories, and that's what I love about it. And when I pick up a board, I like to talk to people and ask them, hey, where'd you get this? What's the story? And you'll hear all kinds of things. It's cool, you know, to hear everybody's stories. So.
Well, I'm sure it came from Burlington, Wisconsin, because that's where my dad and mom lived and they grew up.
Okay.
So I'm sure, and that's where my dad would have been. So.
The Midwest has a lot of snowboard history.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, Burton was from the East Coast, Drake Burton used to travel all over the place to try to sell boards, you know? Yeah, and when you're trying to start a business, you're going to do what you can, you know, to try to sell stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, man. What's your name?
John.
John. Jimmy. Hey, man.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Hey, man. Nice to meet you, man. Cool, man. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm really happy to have this.
So how many wood ones do you have like this then?
I have quite a bit. I left my phone in the car. I'll show you. I'm gonna come back. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me show you that. Yeah. I'll show you. I'll show you what I have. You know. Isn't there a track around here?
Blackhawk Farms.
Oh, okay. It's really close here, right?
Yeah.
I used to come around here, you know, for track days and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have a bike?
Yeah, I used to have a bike.
Okay.
All right, so I just picked up the board. I just left the guy's house, and man, the guy that owned the board, he was so cool. You know, he sold me the board, I gave him the money, and we actually talked for a little bit. I showed him some of the other boards that I owned. He was interested in seeing those, and the guy was just really cool. I gave him a big history lesson of Burton Snowboards, and yeah, he was very interested. It was cool to talk to him. It was a lot of fun. So I can't wait to show you this one. This one is a beautiful board. It was as beautiful as I thought it was gonna be, even more actually. So when I get home, I'll go ahead and show you the board, and it's a good one. Okay, so when I was driving home, I saw two antique shops. I'm gonna stop by there. You never know what you'll find. So I'm a sucker for garage sales, antiques, and just cool old stuff. So I'm gonna stop by and just check out these two antique stores, and we'll see if we find anything. All right, there's one over there and this huge one over here. If you can't get it all in, then sure, that's okay. All right, so I just finished shopping at this place, Angela's Attic, and I'm gonna show you what I got when we get home. Okay, so I'm back home. I'm gonna show you what I purchased. Guys, you won't believe how beautiful this board is. So here it is. So this is a 1984 Burton Performer. Maybe move it closer so you guys can see it better. Super clean. And here's the bottom of it. So originally I thought it might have been used, but it turns out it's pretty much brand new. If you look at the inserts right here, they are super clean. Everything this board has, they're pretty much scratches that happened while it was getting stored. Now I do want to say that the guy ended up replying to me. I know on the way over there I did say in the video that he was not getting in touch with me, but he did end up sending me a message when I was like 15 minutes away from the house, so it worked out really well. But anyways, let me show you a couple of other things that I really love about this board. Now the 84 Performer is one of my favorites, and I've always loved how it says shaped by Andy Coughlin and Jake Burton Carpenter. I like the transition from the red to the all wood here, and I really love that it has the Burton Snowboard sticker. So it came with the original boots. These are rubber boots, but they're the bindings for the board, so it came with both of them, and they're both clean, not one single crack. So really good shape. It came with the heel straps, and if you look at these things have never been used. Look at this, brand spanking new. So it brought both of those, and it brought the original leash that the board came with. In just a little bit, I'm gonna show you what the board looks like with the bindings, the heel straps, and the leash installed. But first, let's talk about the board. So anytime I buy an old board, I like to put together a story of what was going on at the time. So the old owner sometimes will put stickers on the board, and you can kind of tell what he was into, what kind of music, what kind of sunglasses he was into, those kind of things. Or sometimes they might have modified the board, and you can kind of figure out why it is that they did that. If boards could talk, they would tell amazing stories. Now this board here is a little interesting because of the story behind it. So he said that he was 40 years old and his dad bought this for him when he was a little kid. So if he was 40 years old, he must have been born around 1983, something like that. And this board is a 1984. So he would have been a 1-year-old kid, which wouldn't make sense, right? But his story did make sense because he said that his dad bought it at a rummage store. So the original owners of this gave the board up and a rummage store got it and his dad picked it up for him later on, so he was older. So he said he never rode it. Now looking at this board, it is true. If this board could talk, it would definitely tell you that it was never ridden. Now it did come with fins, right? We know the 84 Performer did come with fins, and you can see the slot here for the fin. You can see all the holes that were drilled to install the fins there. But this board would tell you that maybe the old owner, the original owner, didn't want the fins on there because the board probably didn't turn very good with fins. It's possible that they could have owned an old Burton board and they knew the fins didn't work so good, so they took them off right away. And then the board was never ridden. And looking at the board, his story makes sense. If you look at the nose right here, you can kind of see where there's a tag, where there was a price tag there. All right, let's install the stuff on it. Okay, I just finished installing the bindings, the heel straps, and the leash. Let me show you what the board looks like. So here it is. Just looks really cool. It looks more complete. And you can kind of see the heel straps here and the leash. It's really, really nice board. Some of you might be asking, hey, are you going to get the fins for the board? Right now, I don't know. I know that there's people that make them, but right now I'm happy with the board. Maybe later on I will. But sometimes I get old boards that are beat up, and I love them that way. And sometimes I might get a board that's mint, and I also like the board just as much. And right now I don't feel the need to buy the fins yet, but maybe later on I will. So there's people that do sell aftermarket ones, but right now I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm really happy with the board. So check it out one more time. So this is the 1984 Burton Performer. All right, so now that we're done talking about the board, let me show you what I found at the antique store. It wasn't anything really special. It wasn't snowboard related, but still, it was cool. Let me show you. So I was looking for snowboards and I couldn't find that, but I did find this. You guys probably had, plastic saucers when you were little kids that you would slide on the snow with. But back in the day, they used to make these things out of metal. And I couldn't find any snowboard there, but man, I couldn't leave this behind. I mean, it's got a lot of the stuff that a lot of us love. It has snow, mountains, trees, a kid having fun, and best of all, it has an awesome dog sliding with him. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please share it with other people that might like the video. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.